I tried out all the best emerald farms in Minecraft to help you understand which one you should build. I have 5 different farm designs to show, so let's start with the first one, which is designed by Raceworks, and it is a fully automatic raid farm. On the bottom you have one villager, then a platform above it where you will be standing, and above it all there is a place for the raiders to spawn on. To start the farm you have to get the bad omen. Then turn on the hopper clock and stand right here to aim at the little cap. While the farm is working, it produces you 3400 emeralds per hour with looting 3, which is really good considering its fully automatic and fairly compact design. But the ratings for this farm: build simplicity 3 out of 5. Definitely not the easiest build, but what makes it worth it is the build production rates 4 out of 5, getting almost a full double chest of emeralds in just 1 hour. And the overall Shulker score 4.5 out of 5. This raid farm has been reliable in our world for almost 2 years now, and it is fully AFKable. Helped us a lot with collecting emerald blocks by just leaving the computer on for the night. Thank you Raceworks for designing this raid farm. The next raid farm is designed by Logical Geek Boy, and it is an easier build than the previous one. Design of this farm includes one villager at the bottom of the farm, then a water elevator to get you up on the main platform, and a simple redstone clock at the top that pushes the raiders down. To start this farm you just get the bad omen and then the raids will begin. But this farm is fully manual, meaning you need to kill the raiders, then jump down and come back up again to start another raid. As long as you keep doing this, the raids will keep on spawning. This farm produces you about 3100 emeralds per hour with a looting 3 sword. So a pretty good rate. The biggest downside is that you won't be able to AFK here. But let's see the scores. Build simplicity 4 out of 5, a lot easier to build than the previous farm. Build production rates 3.5 out of 5, produces you a good amount, just a bit less than the fully automatic farm. Overall score 4 out of 5. It could be the perfect raid farm, easy to build and produces a lot, but unfortunately you can't AFK on this farm. Thanks to Logical Geek Boy for designing it. Third raid farm that I'm going to review is designed by Chapman, and this is the easiest raid farm in this video. This design is really simple, having a water area flowing together to the middle area and a villager under it, seen under this glass floor. The villager gets all the raiders walking towards it, and then the water just pushes all the raiders down the hole. To start the farm, get bad omen effect and go down to the killing area. But when the raid ends, you will need to get another bad omen effect. So I highly recommend getting bad omen level 5, which will give you about 12 minutes of raid waves. And in these 12 minutes you can get about 66 emeralds, even with looting 3 sword. This definitely isn't a lot, but a really simple design fits for the early game. But now the scores for this farm. Build simplicity 5 out of 5, requires very little items and time. Build production rates 1 out of 5, it might get the highest score on building category, but it produces almost nothing compared to the other farms. Overall score 2 out of 5, I don't recommend building it unless you really want emeralds early in the game. But thanks to Chapman for coming up with a unique design. And now the fourth raid farm, which is designed by Ian X4. It is similar to the Logical Geek Boy raid farm design, but even easier. On the bottom there is a villager, then a bubble elevator that go up. Over on this platform you can kill the raiders, and above it you have the spawn platform as usual. To use it, get bad omen and start the raid, then pull the lever to get the raiders to drop down. After you complete the raids, jump down and come back up using the water elevator. And now the lever will need to be pulled again, so a lot manual work. This design makes you a little over 3000 emeralds per hour, which is a very good amount considering how easy it is to build. Bad thing is, all the manual work you need to do. Ian X4 recommends using macros to make this farm automated, but it requires quite a lot of work to set them up. But now the scores. Build simplicity 4 out of 5, a bit easier than the Logical Geek Boy farm, but there is a lot more downsides. The build production rates 3.5 out of 5. This one produces 3000 emeralds per hour, so a bit less than the Logical Geek Boy raid farm. And the overall score 4 out of 5. Easily buildable, but not easily AFKable farm. And now for the last raid farm. This is designed by Cow King and it is by far the biggest farm in size and also the biggest in production rates. This is a stacking raid farm and has 3 villagers down at the bottom. Going up you have a lot of redstone system to make it all work. Here is the area where you can sit and kill the raiders by hitting the armor stand. And above it is the raid spawning area where they drop down from. To use it, just grab Bad Omen effect, then activate the farm from this lever, go into the area here and start hitting the armor stand. The amount of loot this farm gets is crazy and just the emerald alone is 80,000 per hour. Yes, you heard it right, 80,000 emeralds per hour. With eluding trees sword. This farm is just crazy, but also the build is not the easiest. We built it ourselves in our world and the most time consuming part is the Vex traps. One more good reason why you should build it. It produces 6000 redstone dust per hour. But we are talking about emeralds here, so let's see the scores. Build simplicity, 1 out of 5. Be prepared to spend a lot more time than the other farms. But then again, the build production rates 6 out of 5, getting more in our rating than any farm has ever gotten before. And with 80,000 per hour, trust me, you will never need more. Overall rating 5 out of 5. If you have a little extra time, then this is one of the coolest farms to build in Minecraft. Just crazy things are happening in this farm and at the same time it can be really useful. Thank you so much Cow King for designing this madness. Now let's see a quick recap of all the farms. I would split these farms into 3 different categories. Farms that produce over 3000 emeralds per hour, very easy raid farms and the stacking raid farm. Over 3000 emerald per hour farm where the race works fully AFKable raid farm producing you 3400 emeralds per hour. This is what we personally have used as well. Then the logical geek by manual raid farm producing you over 3100 emeralds per hour. This design is not AFKable, so be aware of that. And then the Ian X4 raid farm, which is also manual and not AFKable, but produces a little over 3000 emeralds per hour. Under the very easy category goes the Chapman's easy raid farm, producing you only 66 emeralds in 12 minutes, but it really is way too simple. And under the last category, the stacking raid farms, goes the Cow King stacking raid farm, producing you a crazy amount of 80,000 emeralds per hour, plus a lot other things, including redstone. For the regular everyday farm, I would recommend use the Raceworks raid farm. This farm is fairly easy to build, produces a good amount, and best of all, it's fully AFKable. But if you ask what is the best one, then most definitely the Cow King stacking raid farm. No raid farm can even come close to the amounts this produces, and I just love how good it is. Take this farm as a building challenge. But that's it. Thank you for watching. See ya!